We all know about the concept of first impressions, but did you know that this concept also applies for the first encounters between speakers and their audiences? The first impression of an audience will determine what the attention continuum will look like. Will the attention rise on account of a positive first impression, or will a dull opening leave you struggling for their attention? This is exactly why the grace period was invented. A tried and tested method for ensuring that those first few seconds of your session leave your audience wanting for more. A well-designed and effectively delivered grace period will set the tone for the entire encounter with your audience. Here's how it's done. A good grace period will always include a teaser, something that evokes interest or curiosity amongst your audience, either towards you or the subject matter. 2. You also have to make sure there's a clear reference to the audience's expected benefit. That is the value you or your topic promises to create for those who pay attention. Be clear on the benefit and make sure it's really relevant to this specific audience. The third component of a winning grace period is credibility. As interested as your audience may be in the subject matter or in the benefit we've just stated, they're still wondering what makes you suitable to stand before them. Therefore, be sure to present your connection or professional linkage to this subject matter. And finally, the fourth and last component of grace period, that one thing that many people forget to mention, the topic. Be sure to state exactly what you are going to focus on with a clear and concise title. If you can word this title in a way that hints to the expected benefit, even better. Now, there are several ways of building an engaging grace period with these four components. For instance, through a personal story. Storytelling is almost as old as man, and people have the inherent tendency to pay more attention while listening to a story, especially a personal story. Try to find a story that explains how you came to deal with the topic in hand, or how you overcame a challenging obstacle similar to the obstacles your audience is currently dealing with. You can also tell a story that goes to how you gained something valuable, again, similar to the kind of value that your audience is most likely to be interested in. Still, if you can't think of a good personal story, or if you're simply just not interested in that kind of personal exposure, that's fine. Use somebody else's story, preferably a well-known person that your audience is likely to know or even look up to. Such anecdotes are easy to find in biographies or even in newspaper interviews. Now, if you don't want to use a story at all, after all, not everyone feels comfortable using the storytelling technique, that's also fine. Start your presentation with a relevant quotation that has a moral or a twist that relates to the subject matter or even more directly to your key message to this audience. Or you can simply start off by sharing a fascinating and even surprising fact in order to boost your audience attention from the get-go. Do this even before you introduce yourself. This is an effective nonverbal way of telling your audience, hang on to your seats, you're in for a fascinating session. In any case, remember, your first impression with the audience is very important. Once you've finished building the structure of your presentation, always leave the selection of the grace period for last. Be sure to include a grace period at the beginning and at the ending in order to ensure that your audience begins and ends its encounter with you on a positive note.